Good evening, Rando fans. My name is Atium. I'm joined tonight by Lumaga. How are you doing?
Doing well. Excited for these playoffs.
Yeah, me too. This is Game 2, Ambrosia. I'm not sure if they've played the first game yet, because the first 3 games don't have to be played in order.
So they've actually played 2 games. They've played technically games 1 and 3. This will be their last match between these 2 teams, and the winner will go on to face Seal W in the division finals next week.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just bringing up the brackets here. Okay, so they're tied 1-1. So this is definitely looking to be a good series.
Definitely good. It's this week. This game is actually a callback to week 2. This is going to be Ambrosia.
Yeah, so for those of you maybe who aren't familiar, Ambrosia is simply standard with a couple of minor changes. First of all, you start with a sword. And also the uncle is going to give you a hint right at the start of the game as to where the boots are. So it's important to read that text box. And the biggest change overall is that you're going to have an item on the boss of every dungeon always. So it's never going to be a key or a map or a compass. It's always going to be an item on the boss. So that does have some effect on how you route through the game in some places.
Yeah, it makes rushing the boss a bit more interesting to go for. Uncle telling us that the boots are going to be deep in Turtle Rock somewhere, so good thing we've started off here in Link's house with a Moon Pearl. We'll need that.
Yeah, so potentially a quite late set of boots, so we'll just be walking everywhere. Not having those boots definitely kind of tests your routing ability, because it takes so much longer to get everywhere that you have to be very careful about how you route things. Whereas with boots, you can just kind of say, oh, it doesn't take long to get back here, so we'll skip this for now. Not such a good idea without boots.
Yeah, you mentioned we do start with a sword, and we do start with 2 quarter pieces of heart, so on our way to getting our first full heart piece. Sword Escape is, one of the nicer ones. In a normal randomizer, you could be stuck with pretty much anything going through Escape.
Yeah, the sword is definitely nicer. It's an unlimited weapon, so unlike something like the fire rod or a bomb start, you never have to worry about running out.
You can see that both the runners are attacking these guards looking for a bomb. They're going to need 1 bomb if they want to get the hidden passage or hidden room in the back of the Escape.
Yeah. But unfortunately, it looks like the guards have the arrow drop pool, which is not going to give them a bomb, so there's no point in killing any more guards. However, they will want to kill the rats later on in Escape, because the rats are in a different prize pool, which may contain bombs. So, both runners now coming up to the boomerang chest. And that is our small key. We have to have at least one of them, well, exactly one of them in Escape.
Yeah, it has to show up by the Dark Cross chest.
And RampantRevenant just a little bit ahead here. Gonna use just Sword Slashes on the Ball and Chain Guard. mooglecharm, gonna use a pot. And oh, we get 10 bombs right there in the Zelda cell, so we don't have to worry about prize packs anymore. We got all the bombs we need for the first little bit of the seed.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better placement for bombs almost. Now, let's just recap a little bit of this. Both of these teams, Double Dippers, which mooglecharm is representing, and Did You Check Your Boot, finished the season at 9 wins, 5 losses, tied for second place, and have split the opening series in the playoffs 1-1, so very evenly matched here.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely a series to watch. So both runners getting out to the main room. Rampant Revenant again with a slight lead, but nothing serious this early in the match.
Yeah, there's plenty of chance for divergence or maybe a misplay or an error, and one will overtake the other. Escape is nice to get done in about 6 minutes, thereabouts, but I wouldn't put too much stock in that as an indicator for the seed.
So Rampant Revenant looked like about 5 seconds ahead there. mooglecharm getting to that mantle right at the 420 mark, which that's a pretty good benchmark for when you want to get there. And our Dark Cross chest got 50 rupees. Not too bad. That's going to definitely help us get that bottle vendor money, so we don't have to worry about that in Kakariko.
Yeah, a lot of places early on where you might be a little concerned about money. Buying bombs not going to be one of them today. And of course, you do want to save up possibly for Zora.
Yeah, definitely in the opening stages of the seed, sometimes every rupee can count. All right, getting into the back of Escape here. Heart container, map, 10 arrows. Nothing too exciting, but they'll take the extra health this early in the seed.
Yeah, I actually found 2 heart containers, one in the first map chest up as well, so nice healthy start.
And Rampant Revenant out of Escape right at 5:55, very good time. mooglecharm not far behind at all, right at about 6:01. So very good escapes by both runners.
And an early shovel right out of Sanctuary. Nice to route that in after you do Kakariko. If you find shovel much later, you typically ignore it until you really have to go back there.
Yeah, definitely good to get that shovel out of the way early. So both runners now heading towards the west. Looks like Rampant Revenant gonna be doing some tree pulls and checking the lumberjack spot. mooglecharm gonna skip this check for now.
I always debate if it's a good move or not to skip lumberjack check, because on the one hand, it's great to know that there's a medallion up there, but on the other hand, you know you'll run into that eventually when you don't have anywhere else to check.
Yeah. Oh, and here's our map check. We had, I think that was a crystal on Hera and a crystal on Eastern, and then a pendant over at Desert.
That's what I saw as well.
And yeah, for those of you wondering, I do believe it was the Ether medallion on Lumberjack. Oh yeah, as chat points out, we already know boots are in Turtle Rock. So we know for sure that Ether cannot be the medallion for TR.
Yep, could be the Meyer medallion, otherwise maybe useless.
Ooh, a mirror. In blind sight there. You always love to have a mirror early on before your first trip to Dark World. It just makes routing the Dark World so much more convenient. So mooglecharm a little bit ahead in the checks, but that just coming from having skipped that lumberjack check. Alright, mooglecharm dropping in now to the well, and we get a glove.
A glove, a moon pearl, and a mirror very early on. This is a good start.
And a mushroom.
And the ice rod.
Alright, so we're getting a lot of those items that are the kind of items where you like to have them early on. Like, that ice rod is always a headache if you don't get it early. And, you know, a couple of fetch quests. Having them early means you can kind of route them in whenever you like instead of having to make those one-off checks.
Yeah, and having that ice rod, Boots could very well be on Trinex himself, so good to have that, because you know you're going to have to go to Turtle Rock for those.
And just a piece of heart in the tavern. That does make an extra heart container for mooglecharm though. And next check coming up is the library, which of course we need Boots to get it, but we're not coming back for that. That was just a single rupee. Oh, I looked away for a second. What was that?
You know, I also missed it, but we'll get to see it on Revenant's side.
Yeah, it's got to be something, because mooglecharm is going back for it.
Well,
Yeah,
it's your other ingredient to Trinex.
It sure is. So that's a fire rod. So, very nice weapon in a lot of situations, and it also works as a fire source to light torches. And it's also required for at least 2 dungeons.
All we need is another glove upgrade, and the seed is screaming to go to Skull Woods.
Alright, that shovel not paying off. But looks like mooglecharm's just going to go straight to the South Shore. This is definitely faster than save and quitting when you have the glove, because you can just kind of take this little shortcut right here.
Yeah, those little movements will certainly add up over the course of the seed.
And mooglecharm remembering to use that mirror to delete the block saves you a couple of screen transitions here. RampantRevenant actually going straight to turn in that mushroom, gonna fake flipper here. Straight over to the witch's hut.
Interesting deciding to fake flipper rather than go north past the castle. It does have gloves, so it is in logic anyway. Normally you would see that fake flipper if it's out of logic.
Well, that's just the fastest way to get here, actually. That's if you can set up the fake flipper quickly. If you're not as fast with the fake flipper, then you're better off just walking over.
Fair enough. Not worth today, just 1 rupee. Gonna hard reset on this. Save that mushroom. Maybe saving that for a fake powder later.
And mooglecharm into Mini Moldorm Cave. And nothing much there. A little bit of money, a little bit of love. But pretty forgettable cave.
Yeah, the seed kind of coming in spurts. We had a quick burst of items in the beginning, and now not much between the well, hype cave, and the mushroom.
Well, we are going to see Ice Rod Cave next. As Rampant Revenant is going to follow mooglecharm in doing the South Shore checks. Oh, there's a lamp.
There's a nice lamp. Say goodbye to dark rooms.
Yeah, so that lamp now puts a number of things into logic. Well, the most important being the mountain. And I think that is the next play for mooglecharm here. Going to go up. We can do the Old Man, we can do Spectacle Rock, and we can check Hera.
We can beat Hera.
Yeah, we can beat Hera for sure.
Yeah, mooglecharm reading this seed like a book, heading straight to the cave to Death Mountain. As Revenant finishing up and gonna go grab the lamp out of Ice Rod Cave as well. Which you would normally see people go to Ice Rod Cave if you know that you're probably lacking something, and you just want to get that check out of the way.
Yeah, Ice Rod Cave is one of those checks where if you don't do it early, oftentimes it gets orphaned and hard to get back to, unless you find the fluke. Meanwhile, Old Man just having a pack of arrows for mooglecharm. So we're going to head on up the mountain. And yeah, chat pointing out, I don't think mooglecharm checked Lumberjack. I imagine, like, if he finds the boots, well, the boots we know are in Turtle Rock, so if he ever gets them, then maybe he'll check it. Okay, nothing much in Spectacle Rock, or on top of it.
Slightly risky play, actually, knowing that the boots are in Turtle Rock, because that has a lot of requirements to get up there. Ooh, here's a map check. We got a 5-6 in Pod and Thieves Town, and our pendants, our green pendant is Swamp. Other pendant is going to be Misery Mire.
mooglecharm doing something I've caught myself doing a bunch of times recently. He thought he had the mirror out. He actually had bombs, so he just laid down a bomb by accident. Yeah, so with, as Chad points out, with Mire being a pendant, there's a really good chance we don't need that ether. Knowing that it can't be on Turtle Rock.
This is why the seed gave you both the fire rod and the lantern, so you could go into the basement of Hera and get this fire lock chest.
Rampant Revenant following the mooglecharm straight up to the mountain. Alright, after our coffee break, mooglecharm gonna grab the big key here.
You know, with the discovery of Herapot late last year, most runners would much prefer to do that than go through the tile room, but when you don't have the hook shot, it's kind of forced.
Yeah, there is no way to get around that big key without the hook shot. At least, no way that we know of yet. Alright, coming up to the middle floor here. This is sometimes called the petting zoo, because it kind of looks like a petting zoo. And mooglecharm... Okay, we must have got an item downstairs, because he's just going straight to the boss. I missed what the first item was.
Yeah, just 10 arrows according to chat.
Alright, so Fighter Sword is the only weapon we have right now that is going to hurt Moldorm, and it is definitely not an easy fight, especially without the boots. But mooglecharm does an excellent job on that fight. Gets Moldorm down about as quick as you can with the Fighter Sword.
Yeah, that was no trouble at all with a few quick spins, getting this first crystal at 1923. So there's no hookshot, no hammer, cannot do the east side of Death Mountain. What do you think the next play is here? Eastern? Sahasrara?
Yeah, that's our densest area, and really the only other option would be Agena, I guess, or Zora. But without being even close to Zora money, your best play is just to go to Eastern. mooglecharm hasn't turned in the mushroom yet, so yeah, I like turning in the mushroom before Eastern. And that's what he's going to do. Alright, so mooglecharm, gonna find it's just a single rupee and almost save and quit, but decides gonna hard reset it instead to save that mushroom for a potential fake powder glitch later on.
Yep, gonna need to find the Samaria cane before fake powder is really material, but nonetheless, you can always use that mushroom later.
Alright, so time now for the walk over to Eastern area.
Alright, getting these 3 items in the back of the Hospitalist Cave. For a hard 50 rupees and 3 bombs, so not so important. The 3 items still lurking in Eastern Palace. Cannot get to Armos No Bow, and the Vanilla Big Key chest is, oh, that is in logic. We did find that lamp.
Sorry, I was distracted there for a second. Was there anything in Sasha's closet?
Just some money, bombs, heart piece.
Nothing too special.
There's our hammer, so that is full Dark World access.
And Moogle's out of there. He is not worried about the rest of Eastern right now. And that That's the kind of play that can be very risky. Noping out of a dungeon too early. You know, most of the time there's nothing else there, and you're fine. But if you've left something behind, that could be disastrous.
I just think if it's something important, like the bow or the cane of Samaria, yes, that is a very risky play, but much things available here in the Dark World, starting with Hype Cave.
Well, you know, it's kind of almost coincidental. The last race I commentated earlier today, the exact same thing happened. The runner got an item early in Eastern, noped out, and then guess what was in the Eastern Pal's big chest? Oh. So,
oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was a bit of a disaster. So it can happen, and maybe we'll see on RampantRevenant side if he decides to go deeper into Eastern.
Well, we got a bunch of blue things. We got the blue mail, the blue cane, and the blue boomerang out of Hype Cave today.
Blue is definitely one of the most common colors of Link to the Past items. Alright, there's that hammer.
Hammer into the back. So he's not finishing or not quitting here.
Alright, so this is a big difference in what the runners have done. Mooglecharm heads now. Stumpy, I don't think there was much there. The K45 coming up next.
Oh, there's a nice Master Sword out of K45. I really like this routing, having the mirror and then checking out 45, Stumpy, and Dig Cave quickly, and then you can take the Kakariko portal back to the Dark World.
Yep, and with that mirror, you can just mirror right after you do the dig game and just walk right up. You don't even have to save and quit. Alright, second item in Eastern, 10 arrows. Rampant is... okay, he's gonna nope out here, so, oh, that's right, he knows the last item's on the boss.
That's right. Yep, this is Ambrosia. You know there's the last item on each boss in each dungeon, so no need to go searching for the last one.
And it looks like, okay, RampantRevenant heading down to the Loot Spot 5 portal. Looks to be heading towards Pod. Very interesting play. No bow. He doesn't have a potion for potion glitching, although could potentially mimic clip if he's able to do that trick.
Yeah, Palace of Darkness seems to typically have a lot. Actually, he's going past it. But Palace of Darkness does seem to have items a disproportionate amount of times, so I would not blame somebody for going in there this early. Although we're going to get a pyramid check, it looks like.
Yeah, this is some strange routing. Instead, I mean, I only really like that play if you're going to Pod. I don't understand why he's going for this, but we'll see. Maybe it'll work out. Okay, just bombs on the pyramid ledge. Mooglecharm heading into that Kakariko portal. And is going to pass over Skull Woods for now. It is a full clearable crystal. But he may not, maybe doesn't feel comfortable with Modula on his current equipment.
Well, Master Sword, Blue Mail, and I think 6-7 hearts here is about a little bit more than you would get in vanilla. But in Rando, you can wind up with a free moth, so I don't blame him for not going in there right away.
Yeah, we'll see if it works out. The only reason you might want to put off Skull Woods is if you're hoping to get the book, and that way you can combine a pedestal check in. But that's really it. Other than that, there's really no reason to put off Skull Woods. Rampant Revenant, meanwhile, checking Catfish. So getting a couple of really out-of-the-way checks done. And just 10 arrows there, so that play not paying off. Although he is able to mirror and do Zora. Doesn't have the ability to fake Blizzard, so can't get most of these checks.
This is just going to be some scouting to see if the ledge is anything, which today, just some bombs.
Yeah, and no Zora money, so good heads-up play, though. Just getting any information you can sometimes be really helpful. And looks like, okay, Revenant gonna head down to the south portal here. Probably can check Hype Cave. No? Yes? Okay.
Maybe.
And his stream first. Alright, well, we'll hopefully get him back soon. Meanwhile, mooglecharm going through Thieves Town, gets that big key there.
Alright, so we got 2 dungeon items, 3 dungeon items if you include the small key, so all the rest of the items in the back here. And with that cane of burnout, you can really cheese the blind fight. No sense in not doing the rest of this dungeon.
Yeah, for sure. Alright, we got Revenant back. He's into Hype Cave, gets his blue stuff.
And Revenant on his way to the south part of Village of Outcast near Stumpy and K45, so he'll get to get that Master Sword fairly early as well.
Yeah. So, overall, so far it seems like the 2 players have basically routed all the same things. Not necessarily in the same order, but Rampant Revenant has been more thorough. Doing as many checks as he can, while mooglecharm skipped out on a few. And so far it hasn't bitten him, but we'll see how things continue on. Nothing of note so far in Thieves Town. Rampant Revenant heading over to that big game as mooglecharm now towards the basement of Thieves.
Yep, has a hammer. He's going to pull that out because likely going to be an item in that big chest. And earlier I was going to say mooglecharm did have to be careful on his hearts, but a few hearts under the pots and did pick up a heart under the as one of the drops. And he's counting his items better than I am. There's 1 item left on blind and nothing in that big chest.
Yeah, and of course we do have that King of Burna just in case we get into any sort of trouble on blind. That'll bail us out.
Do quick slashes and stabs, and mooglecharm is script through 2 phases of blind. This 3rd phase sometimes gives runners trouble, but
yeah, he got off script there with an accidental sword spin. But it's usually not that bad when it happens on the 3rd phase. We only need a couple hits left. So, yeah, 2nd crystal from mooglecharm. So it didn't look like there was anything important in Thieves Town, but that's no big deal.
Well, there was a crystal, so I guess if you count that, but yes. No progression items, and Revenant making his way into the Dark World. into the Skull Woods area, which we've not seen yet.
Yeah, I think mooglecharm may have been routing this the way he did so that he can go from Thieves Town up into Skull Woods and then potentially go east and check things like Graveyard Ledge, Bumper Ledge, and so on. And C-shaped house having a tempered sword, so that's going to actually really be nice for Mothula. Rampant Revenant not going to have that luxury.
Yeah, this is one of the instances where you just hold off on Mothula just long enough to see if you get something helpful like either mail or Bacon Sword or something like that. But this is great for mooglecharm.
And mooglecharm running straight to the back. Same with Rampant Revenant.
Yeah, only 2 items in Skullwood, so it makes sense if you're going to get the first one off of Mothula, start from the back and work your way forward, because there could be a lot of wasted time up front.
Yeah, for sure. So we're gonna get near St. Cosmo fights here. Rampant Revenant a little bit low on magic, so he's gonna use the lamp a bit. And down to 4 hearts here, so not gonna be quite the easiest fight. Down to 3 hearts now, taking a bump from that Gibdo. Having a okay.
Yeah, didn't want to use a lot of magic on that Gibdo. Wanted to save it for Mothula. And gets a couple of heart drops there.
Yeah, he's actually passing up on some of them. And it's down to 2.5 hearts. This is a little risky, passing up on those hearts. Mooglecharm, meanwhile, gets down Moth with no problem at all, thanks to that tempered sword. Rampant Revenant gonna bring out the hammer here for a few hits, but he's getting in some trouble here. Down to 1.5 hearts. Okay, he gets through it. But that was definitely a what's the word for it? A clutch fight.
Yeah, he was very aggressive on that. More aggressive than I would be on a Mothula fight, but well done for Revenant getting that on low health.
Yeah. Those kind of fights can go really wrong, especially when you start getting some bad RNG from the Moth. Alright, so mooglecharm done with the back of Skull Woods, so I guess we'll probably see the other item in here.
Mooglecharm getting that statue a little bit too high. Oh, there he goes. He's able to get around it.
Oh, mooglecharm getting caught on that switch. Sometimes that switch is a little wonky. Sometimes it just activates a bunch of times in a row and just wastes your time. Oh, and there's the hook shot.
Well worth going into Skull Woods for that second item. So that will open up East Death Mountain.
And hookshot actually not technically required until Gang's Tower, or even at all if you can hover, but that's not going to be a worry this time. Bumper Ledge, just 20 rupees there.
Yeah, here comes the North Dark World checks, like you had mentioned. You get Bumper Ledge, you'll get Graveyard Ledge, and then I would wonder if mooglecharm might take that to Death Mountain or not, but then we'll see where these guys go after this check.
Yeah, because I don't believe anyone's checked Paradox Cave yet. Although I could be wrong there.
No, we just got access to East Death Mountain with the hammer, but that was after we were off the mountain anyway.
Yeah. Alright, Graveyard Ledge. Just some bombs in there. Mooglecharm taking a bit of damage here in the overworld. Has to be a little careful here. But there are a bunch of hearts in Graveyard Ledge, so as long as he makes it there safely, he's fine. So, not sure where RampantRevenant will go after this. Oh, right, he hasn't done Thieves Town, so that makes sense.
Yep. No, yeah, Mooglecharm is one Thieves Town ahead.
Yeah. So Moogle probably... I can see him going over to Catfish and then possibly taking a dip into Pod, although, no, never mind, he's not going to do that.
And let's welcome the folks from SpeedGaming 2 joining us. Thank you for the raid.
Yeah, if you're just joining us... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I think we were about to say the same thing. This is a Link to the Past Randomizer League. This is the playoffs between two, I believe, Hyrule Castle Division teams, Double Dippers and Did You Check Your Boot? This is the third game between the two, both having won a single game in this series so far.
Yeah, so both teams tied at 1 apiece in a best-of-5 series. So the winner of this will be, 1 point away from the next round.
Yep, it is a best-of-5 series.
Yeah. Sorry, I was going to say Mooglecharm heading into Paradox Cave here. Just a heart piece or a heart container rather on the bottom. And up top, we got some bombs, heart piece. And wow, a whole lot of garbage in Paradox Cave.
Yeah, so the only saving grace here at East Death Mountain would be Spiral Cave. And we will see that in a few moments on Mooglecharm's side as Revenant making his way through Thieves Town.
I thought I saw Revenant do Spiral Cave. I could be just dreaming that though.
I mean, we've had 1,000 or so league games this season. I would imagine if you've watched more than a few of them this week or this season, you've probably got a bit of seed bleed. So I don't think we saw him go through East Death Mountain. He has been more thorough, but Mooglecharm coming up huge with those Titan's Mitts, and with those Titan's Mitts can check out Dark Death Mountain on his way here in East Death Mountain.
Alright, so that is the progression we were looking for. And yeah, immediate 6 checks here on East Death Mountain, and of course we'll be able to see what we need for Turtle Rock. We know it can't be Ether, because Ether's on the Lumberjack, and we know the boots are in Turtle Rock, and the boots are required to get Ether. Alright, RampantRevenant into the back end of Thieves Town now. Again, nothing much inside here, but it is a full clearable crystal.
There's your bow.
Yeah, that is big. So that bow, of course, required for Eastern and for Pod, 2 of our crystals.
Alright, so that puts Eastern and Pod fully in logic here.
Yeah, and that is a Bombos on Turtle Rock, so we're gonna need Bombos medallion. In fact, looking at it, we can actually beat now every single dungeon except Turtle Rock. We need Bombos and the cane. That's all we need for go mode. And mooglecharm sees the thing you don't want to see, which is Flute, which opens up Misery Mire. Flute's nice to have early, it's not nice to find it late.
Yeah, because that could bait you into going to a pendant dungeon you don't need to do. But you're right, we are just a Bombos away from pretty much go mode here. Maybe. You may need Cane Samari for the right side of Ganon's Tower.
Well, we definitely need Cane Samari for Turtle Rock.
Oh, you were so right about that.
But okay, we are going to get a Spike Cave check here as RampantRevenant taking on Blind. And that was pretty perfect up until the last hit. But no big deal there. mooglecharm finding just a heart piece in Spike Cave.
Alright, so mooglecharm, first action here is always going to be activate your flute. That is fast travel, that is, incomparable to anything else here.
Yeah. So, probably you're going to want to follow up on that flute, or you could follow up on the bow and go do Eastern and Pod. So
both being crystals, that seems like the biggest play.
Yeah. The thing is, though, you can do a few really quick checks in the Mire area, like Mire Shed and Checkerboard Cave, so it might be worth just checking those real quick before you head over to Eastern Pod. See what Moogle decides to do. Yeah, he's going to do these quick checks here. Nothing on Desert Ledge.
Yeah, you're right. Maybe just going for those real quick checks rather than the slog of, Alex of Darkness. And if you do find Bombos along the way, you could go mode the rest of these dungeons.
And
almost.
That is Quake for Ether. So, sorry, Quake for Misery Mire. So that Ether on Lumberjack completely useless. And there's our red cane. And a bottle of blue goo. That's our first bottle. 46 minutes into the seed.
So good call going to the Mire Shed with that flute. That led you to the cane and a blue goo.
Yeah, so I imagine we'll check Checkerboard Cave. And that'll probably... There's another, okay, green potion. Says, you know what, I'll take it.
Yeah, that one's pretty much a freebie. Go for it.
Yeah, it doesn't take much time at all. I'd probably go check Sick Kid here first. No, he's not gonna bother with Sick Kid. Okay, gonna just do Eastern Pod. And then this makes sense too. But yeah, mooglecharm definitely with a pretty big advantage here. And but again, it's not over. It's gonna come down to where's that Bombos medallion.
Yeah, where in the world is our gosh dang Bombos? Shout out to the team. Where in the world is our gosh dang Bombos? But yeah, that is the only item we truly need in order to achieve Go Mode. And Pod, being such a dense area, makes perfect sense. And you know there's one item in the back of Eastern Palace, which now that you have the bow, you can go ahead and go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is the most sensible play. I still would have liked to check the ticket real quick, because that's such a fast check. And
Right.
if Bombos is there, you can just go mode Pod.
Alright, Revenant getting the news, and there's Bombos at 48 minutes, 38 seconds. mooglecharm is in Go Mode.
Yeah, so this is proven to be a pretty nice seed overall. And yeah, this is really bad news if you're a fan of Did You Check Your Boot, because mooglecharm has a huge lead now. Well, maybe not huge, but it's definitely in the driver's seat. RampantRevenant still having to activate that flute and still has to go to the mire shed. I mean, he may decide to just do Pod and Eastern first, and that could lead him to losing some time through full clearing.
Yeah, still a lot of execution that could close the gap here. That I would not say by any means this is over. So mooglecharm definitely in the driver's seat, having been in Go Mode here, but Revenant can still catch up. There's a lot of places for that.
Yeah, I mean, mooglecharm has shown pretty solid execution overall here, so RampantRevenant really has a steep hill to climb to get back in this one. Okay, but he is going straight to Pod, so it kind of depends on where this big key is. If the big key is in the back of Pod, you know, buried, then full clearing Pod's not a big deal. I believe the compass chest, that's just a small key.
And I don't think mooglecharm checked the big key chest, so still has a chance to be there,
That's
not
true.
being in the basement.
Oh, there it is, harmless away. So mooglecharm won't have to do the dark maze. So that's a little bit of time saved. I don't know what he's doing now.
Yeah,
There's another crystal switch in this room you can just click. Why did you do
which
that?
he didn't need to hit, actually.
I don't know what he was thinking of, but okay.
He'll figure it out in 2 rooms, trust me. Like, I get it. Go mode this early, you gotta think my opponent mode as well. So nerves might get to you. You might make a slight tactical. It's no big deal. He is on his way to Helmasaur.
Yeah. Yeah, our tracker pointing out, technically, for a logical perspective, we do need flippers. for Ice Palace, but it's very easy to get around that requirement. Mooglecharm with a nice one-cycle turtle run there. And on to the Helmosaur fight.
Yep, 17 whacks with a hammer. And then with Butter Sword, quick 2 splashes, and he will be down.
And a heart container for good measure on the boss. Mooglecharm pulling out that mirror, preparing to mirror straight over to Eastern Palace. So yeah, I mean, really the story of the seed is just Rampant Revenant with much more thorough routing, doing a lot more of those one-off checks, and none of them really paying off. Mooglecharm skipping a lot of stuff, and none of those skips biting him. So this kind of just shows you how rando can go sometimes. I wouldn't say either of those approaches are necessarily wrong. You know, sometimes you just feel like gambling one way or the other, and it's all kind of luck, whether you're right or not.
Yeah, it's about 30% luck, 40% skill, and if that luck just kind of outweighs you for the seed, you know, it's no fault of your own. So he did check Catfish, he did check Pyramid, where Mooglecharm did not. Mooglecharm actually didn't even check Lumberjack, which may or may not have been a smart move at the time, but seems to have paid out for him.
Yeah. So, Rampant Revenant, I mean, he's gonna get Eastern and Pod done here. He's gonna waste a little bit of time checking this Dark Maze. And oh, he finds the flippers. Okay.
Oh no!
It's actually not good for him necessarily. I mean, hopefully he does go check Mireshed before he starts doing things like Ice Palace.
I mean, the thing here is, Revenant needs to go check Mireshed for Samaria, for sure.
Yeah. And without that Samaria,
do not go into Swamp Palace.
Yeah. I don't see him going into Swamp Palace before Mireshed. I would hope not. But I could see him going into Ice Palace first, since that's a crystal. And without that red cane, it's going to be a very slow full clear. So, yeah, if you... Oh, look, half magic on
that's nice.
On the boss. Yeah, that is definitely helpful. So, if you are rooting for Did You Check Your Boots, you need Rampant Revenant to finish off Eastern and then go straight to Mireshed to have any hope of getting back in this race. But as it stands, Mooglecharm is in go mode, is a full dungeon ahead, so has quite a commanding lead at this point.
Yep, using that fake flipper glitch to get to Ice Palace, not needing those flippers out of Dark Maze, which Revenant did find, but nonetheless, in Ice Palace, ready to go mode it. And with that cane of Samaria, wonder if we'll be seeing an Icebreaker glitch today.
I would be surprised if we didn't. RampantRevenant on Helmosaur here. So mooglecharm first gonna go flip the switch. And if he walks back down, which yes he is, so we are going to see Icebreaker here. So the reason you want to flip that switch is so that you don't have to find the big key to get to Cold Stare. You can just walk straight to Cold Stare.
Got the discovery of this glitch where you clip into the wall, place a Samaria block, and then walk right ahead. Makes Ice Palace almost free in go mode. And there's Icebreaker. Yep, skip the big key chest, skip the spike chest. Just head straight to Cold Stare. There's no need to check anything else. Alright, on his way down to Cold Stare. Gonna be fairly quick fight with Buttersword. Not looking for too much trouble. Does have a blue bottle in case he does get bodied.
Yeah, Cold Stare with Buttersword is a very easy fight if you've ever practiced it. And mooglecharm setting it up perfectly, 4 slashes is all it takes. Perfect fight.
Wait, is it over? I missed it. Yeah, excellent fight from mooglecharm. RampantRevenant taking his way through Eastern Palace onto Armos. Gonna set up just in the top for a quick kill. And looking good so far. Few hits to the right and the rest of them down, and no problem getting that half magic. So here's a Turtle Rock play from mooglecharm. Now has the cane and the Bombos Medallion to get in there. Gonna get our boots eventually, possibly depending on the key layout. Who knows? Maybe he may not full clear everything, but he does know boots are here. We'll have to see.
I think you go ahead and pick up the boots no matter what, just because. First of all, the big key can be on the torch, so you might actually need them. And also, I mean, they're just going to save you time anyway.
Yeah, that's very true.
Alright, so mooglecharm now about to open up Turtle Rock. It is the last crystal dungeon. RampantRevenant, meanwhile, done with pod and is walking. Okay, going to go down to Hobo. Hasn't checked this yet.
Yep, looking for his King Samaria, which we do know is in Meyer Shed, but Revenant gonna check a few other spots before there.
Oh, silver arrows on the Hobo. So that is definitely kind of good for RampantRevenant, but it's just too little, too late, most likely here. As mooglecharm's lead is just growing. The longer Revenant holds off on Meyer Shed.
using his flippers to get into Waterfall Cave and possibly Zora now that he has the money. Not going to find what he needs, but does find some bombs and some rupees. Very nice work getting that quick hook shot off the left chest, or the left torch. Alright, Zora today. Not gonna have the Samaria, but what's he got? 20 bucks.
Standard Zora scam.
Yeah, expect no more, expect no less.
Alright, so Rampant Revenant has got to fluke to number 6 here. No, he's going to Ice Palace. So that is probably the final nail in the coffin here. Barring an absolute catastrophe for mooglecharm here, this is just going to be too big a lead. But we'll watch it out anyway.
Yeah, because very high chance that Revenant full clears, whereas mooglecharm was able to go mode Ice Palace.
Yeah, and like I said, not having that cane, you can't do the icebreaker glitch. So you have to full clear it the slow way. It's like, what is it, like a 6 or 7 minute full clear to do this?
Well, it's certainly not quick. There's a lot to do in Ice Palace. Icebreaker makes a free, bomb jump is pretty free too.
Yeah, he does get a small key in the first chest, so that's what you want to see in Ice Palace. That lets you unlock the door in the cross room. That'll save you a bit of time in your routing. But again, it's just not going to be enough unless mooglecharm has some serious problems.
And this is game 3 of the Link to the Past Randomizer League playoffs in the Hyrule Castle division. These two teams have each won one game. mooglecharm in a very strong position for game 3. This is a best of 5 series, so the winner of the series will go on to meet CLW next week in the division finals. So be sure to keep watching and stay tuned. Be sure to give the runners a follow as well. They are putting on a good show for us and have done a lot of great work during the whole league season. So give them a follow.
Yeah, absolutely. And while we're thanking people, let's thank Yoinker's wife, who is doing a great job tracking for us today. Tracking, not an easy job at all.
That's certainly helpful for us commentators, keeping us honest and on task. So very good thank you to Yoinker's wife.
Alright, so mooglecharm down. I would imagine he'll check all of Laser Bridge. Pretty quick to do, and you really want to get those boots.
Yeah, he's looking for 1 key and 2 boots. So it's the only thing he really needs out of here.
Couple of sword beams to get that pesky mini Helmosaur out of the way. And just gonna use Burn to get the bug net. There's that small key. And there's the boot. And mooglecharm not gonna bother the last chest, even though it could have silvers. He doesn't know that silver's on hold.
from his perspective, could have silvers, could have pretty much anything, but not going to waste any time.
Yeah, I mean, mooglecharm has shown very good execution, so I'm sure he will have no trouble on silverless again.
Oh, absolutely not. Half magic, butter sword, blue mail. You've got very little danger here on Trinex. Right, 2 heads of the 3 down, and just a couple of swings on this head in the midsection of Trinex. He'll be down, and we'll be ready to believe we're ready to play a game. Here is, we are about to head to Ganon's Tower. That's our 7th crystal. Edium, you want to explain what's going on?
Why, sure. So in Ganon's Tower, there are 22 chests that can hold the big key. Put your guesses in chat between 1 through 22. We haven't started the bot yet. Okay, there we go. Get your guesses in chat now. And oh no, did RampantRevenant? I wasn't even watching. He took a death? What's going on? Or did he skip an item?
Yeah, that was an unfortunate death at Cold Stare for Revenant. So we're gonna have to get all the way back in.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not going to cost him the race because he was already so far behind. But this is really the final nail in the coffin. mooglecharm has he's got gold sword, he's got all kinds of safeties. This is just too much.
And mooglecharm going right side, looking for that that Ganon's Tower big key. 22 checks, first 2 just arrows and a heart piece.
Yeah,
those of you that guessed in the chat, you will get points on the leaderboard if you guess the right number. We're up to 3 with Bob's torch.
Yeah, small key on that torch there. And we're gonna head over towards the Stalfos room. Chat talking about how many nails in the coffin. I think I've only said that twice, so 2.
Yeah, 2 final nails, not so final. But there's chest number 7. We did find the Quake Medallion, so we can go to Misery Mire if we really care to.
Yep. I don't think we'll see that today.
No.
Small key there in the map chest.
Yep, small key in chest 8. Number 9 going to be the Firebar room, followed by Rando, if we so need to go there. Number 9 is our powder, so that's a nice safety, but not so helpful this late in the game.
Yeah, you might use it at the top of Ganon's Tower to get that nice health refill. And here is Cold Stare round 2 for RampantRevenant. Alright, that is much better. Gets a perfect fight on the second try there.
Well done for Revenant. We did get 2 more heart pieces, 2 1/4 heart pieces out of the Rando room. But up to chest 13, nothing as far as the Ganon's Tower big key. Revenant gonna have to flute over to 6, get that Cane of Samaria.
Alright, coming up to Bob's chest here. Hey, green goo. Not really that helpful at this point since we already have a half magic.
Here is Revenant on. Well, he was in the mire area, but gonna check the ledge first.
That makes sense. And the vanilla big key chest just contains 50 bucks this time, but there's the big key right behind it. Do you remember what number that was?
That, I believe, is 17. So,
right.
Congratulations to Wilshire1764, who guessed 17 and gets 21 points on our leaderboard. Blue Raid also gets 5 points for guessing a little bit after.
Alright, so it is time now for Gan's Tower Climb. Mooglecharm a little short on arrows here. He can't keep missing like that. Not that he really needs arrows after this room.
No, and can pick up that 5 in this room too.
Yeah, he's gonna grab them. And nice key dash there. RampantRevenant, meanwhile, making his way up the mountain towards Turtle Rock.
Did find his cane in Mire Shed, so is in go mode. Not going to be enough to catch up to Mooglecharm here, who is firmly in the gauntlet.
Using that fire rod and half magic to make this almost a breeze. Even get some nice fairy drop there, that's pretty sweet. Ooh, misses a few shots there. He's not really worried about magic, so he has at least a couple of magic potions.
Yeah, did find a blue and 2 greens, I think. So he's set for the next few rooms where he'll need some magic, but also Ganon's tower, or Ganon himself, where he'll need just enough to light the torches. Alright, it's switching to lamp just to conserve a bit of magic. So he can get through this room, get the full magic container in the following room. Ooh, but that fall might put his timing off.
Yeah, he's gonna wait for the torches to reset. Okay, having a little trouble here. You know, I would just drink your magic potion and use the fire rod. That's just me. Alright.
Just let the room reset. It's okay. Get the refill. Pause just a second to make sure you don't despawn the tower going up the stairs as the chime goes off.
Mooglecharm not worried about those silvers, not gonna bother checking any chests here.
You gotta wonder what's on Mooglecharm's mind, because lot of runners, when they hit, Moldorm 2 at 118, think to themselves, holy cow, is my opponent also in this area? Because not common to be this early to Moldorm 2.
Yeah, it's definitely been a quick seed. mooglecharm taking a fall there. Definitely having some minor issues with execution, maybe nerves or I don't know, maybe just kind of tired of the seed. Taking another spill to Moldorm 2. Again, he doesn't know how big a lead he has. So for all he knows, that might have cost him the race. But he's well ahead at this point.
Yep, crossing over the gap, heading on to Agate 2, just in a couple of rooms here. And Revenant just making sure he didn't miss a key. Get that big chest and head into the back of Turtle Rock.
Alright, up to Agate 2 here. Oh, that could have been a triple. Wasn't able to get the last splash off in time. And just gets a single there. Ooh, gets 0 on that cycle.
Yeah, not too friendly here in Agate 2.
Yeah, mooglecharm definitely, I would say, showing a little bit of nerves. But, I mean, he's got things under control. So for mooglecharm, all he needs to do is just settle down. I'm sure he knows how to do this fight. No problem. RampantRevenant coming up on Laser Bridge here. We'll get the boots.
Oh, don't forget that bug net.
And the bug net, yeah.
mooglecharm with that butter sword. Cannon doesn't quite stand a chance on the first few phases to him. Able to slice through, and I think that's on to phase 3. Indeed.
Yep. Very smooth fight so far. And getting fire battle a little bit, but manages to dodge all of them.
Gonna need, well, there's one more hit. He needs one final hit in phase 3. There it is.
Did you find the arrows in the light world? You didn't, but you know what? I'm gonna kill you anyway. There's 2 hits. 3. Takes 12. Sword spins. Oh, I think that one missed. So I think that's 4. And that one did not count.
And he's timing these to set up for a triple, getting the torch just as Ganon appears to get him to disappear and open up the vulnerability state.
Yeah. And doing a pretty good... Ooh, takes a hit there. Yeah, better burn a potion. But the bigger worry, of course, is falling off the edge. Those fire bats actually knock you in the opposite direction of what you're holding. So if you're holding left, the fire bats will knock you right. So if you don't want to get knocked off in the hole, your best bet is just not to hold any direction at all.
And there we go. mooglecharm takes down Ganon and just has to cross this bridge before takes the third game of this series, puts Double Dippers in a 2-1 lead on Did You Check Your Boot? Get your GGs in chat. mooglecharm finishes at 1 hour, 23 minutes, 6 seconds. GG.
GG to mooglecharm. And we're going to see if they want to, or if he wants to join us for an interview. Looks like Rampant Revenant is going to play the seed out. So we'll watch that for the next little bit.
And we're joined by mooglecharm. mooglecharm, GG.
We can't hear you there. Maybe a push to talk on. Okay, looks like might be a second.
Yeah, we'll get the audio issues fixed in a second as Revenant making his way up the tower. Gonna have to go to back of Ice Armos in order to get that big key. It was 17. And the big story here, big difference maker, seems to have been Revenant was a bit more thorough in his checks, looking at a few things like Catfish and Pyramid, and also not going to Mireshed as early as he could. Those two things, plus the Samaria and Mireshed, really put him behind in this seed and gave mooglecharm the advantage.
Yeah, overall, just mooglecharm skipping a lot of stuff and, you know, made all the right skips. And there we go. mooglecharm, can you hear us now? Okay, unfortunately, we're having a bit of trouble getting mooglecharm's voice to work, but we will we'll work on it. Meanwhile, Rampant Revenant, okay, heading into random room here.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh,
Hey,
there we go.
Hey, mooglecharm, GG. Hey, mooglecharm, GG.
Thanks, GG's.
So, pretty nice seed overall. Really almost a jet seed. So what did you think about your routing overall?
Thought it was pretty good outside of that first play up to Hera. But otherwise, I feel like I routed it pretty well.
Yeah. Well, both of you made that play to Hera, so that wasn't a big deal. I would say, honestly, the biggest difference between you and Rampant Revenant was that you were a little less thorough. You made some more skips, like you just got the hammer out of Eastern Palace and immediately noped out. And you never checked things like Catfish and Pyramid Ledge. And you also just kind of got to the progression faster. Rampant Revenant did not check Mireshed right away, so I ended up full clearing Pod, Ice Palace, and all that. You know, are those kind of skips you normally make, or was this kind of you felt like being aggressive in this seed?
Oh, you know, I think typically I wouldn't make skips like that, but as soon as I got the hammer out of Eastern, I felt pretty behind because it was one of my final checks at that point. You know, and then because I went up to Hera first, like I said, I didn't feel like that was the right play after not getting anything out of there. But you know, once I got that hammer going into Dark World, you know, finally kind of got some progression. just really followed the progression. It didn't feel like I was skipping checks, more so that I was just clearing dungeons and following the progression. And once I had that, I had access to the East Death Mountain, but once I got the hook shot, it was like, well, it's kind of pointing me in that direction anyway, so let's just head over there. And as soon as I found those mitts, it was like, just one thing after another.
Yeah. Yeah, once you found those mitts, I think everything else just kind of fell into place pretty quickly. Rampant Revenant also had an unfortunate death on Cold Stare, although you were kind of pretty far ahead at that point anyway. Yeah.
Where were Flippers, by the way?
They were in pod.
Dark Maze.
And if you're wondering, the silver were on Hobo.
Oh, there's go mode.
Yeah, definitely don't need those flippers today.
So actually, mooglecharm, up the tower, we were kind of thinking, this is a very fast seed. We were wondering if you felt at all behind, if you thought maybe Revenant also hit the right spots at the right time, and you might have been close or even behind on that.
Well, after finding those couple items, I was feeling pretty good, but Did You Check Your Boots? A pretty good team, and I didn't want to kind of underestimate. So, once I hit go mode, I was just not going to check any more chests because I had a decent amount of safeties. I had a lot of hearts. I had blue mail. I had gold sword. It was like I didn't really need to open anything else anyway. But I did catch the last few minutes of the stream, and I felt pretty bad, falling in Moldorm and that stupid torch room just trolling me. So yeah, I'm feeling a little bit of the nerves, but otherwise I think outside of GT it was a pretty good seed.
Yeah, I think your execution for the vast majority of the seed was excellent. A lot of your boss fights were nearly perfect, if not perfect.
I felt pretty good up until the last little bit in GT. I see GFE trolling me in chat a little bit. I wish he was in the class, right?
Yeah, it definitely takes a lot to get here. 64 teams in the league, 8 divisions. Not easy to make it to the playoffs. Your team made it 9-5. And now you're up 2 games to 1 on Did You Check Your Boot? Any thoughts about Game 4? Who's going to be playing and what we might see in terms of modes?
I'm not sure yet. I think it's Did You Check Your Boot's turn to pick the mode. So, hopefully they pick something that's not too crazy for us. But yeah, I'm not sure who's going to be racing in Game 4 yet.
Alright, Revenant making his way into the Ganon fight as well. Buttersword did find the silver arrows on Hobo, so gonna make very quick work of this pig as he pulls off these dash pokes as well.
Very nice job dodging those fire bats.
Yep, did find those silver arrows in the Dark World indeed. There's one of them. Number 2, number 3, just one more. Probably have to set up this last torch, and then we'll be able to say GG's got to be careful on that half a heart.
Yeah, but no worries. Again, it's down.
All right, get your GG's in chat for RampantRevenant, who finishes with an official time of 1 hour, 33 minutes, 35 seconds. See if we can get him in here for an interview.
And it looks like RampantRevenant is there in the booth. Yep. GG's to you.
GG.
So, other than, I guess you did have an unfortunate death there on Cold Star, but other than that, how did you feel that you played the seed?
I honestly thought I was ahead until I saw that dot done as soon as I got into GT.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't even dip a single pendant dungeon. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, like, overall, your routing was quite a bit more thorough than mooglecharm. He skipped a lot of things. Like, for example, when he went to Eastern and got the hammer, he just noped right out, whereas you cleared a few more chests in there. And just a lot of little things like that kind of added up. And I was saying earlier, this could easily have gone the other way if mooglecharm had skipped an important item that you got, you know, in some of those one-off checks that you did. You know, this could have easily gone the other way.
Yeah, that's why I checked all those items. I didn't want to miss anything important. I was making sure to count my items well in the dungeons.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest difference, I think, though, was finding the flute in Hookshot Cave and immediately going to Mireshed to find the cane, which led mooglecharm into just a race for the Bamos medallion, and that was it. I think you did a few more thorough checks before finding the cane.
Yeah, I was going to check Mire first, but I thought, hey, the Red Cane's in Ice Palace, and that's my go mode. Might as well get that done.
Yeah. And I mean, if the Red Cane had been there, it probably would have been a closer race. Unfortunately, you know, the way the seed laid out just didn't work in your favor so much. Definitely was an exciting race to watch. Saw some great execution on both sides. And yeah, so you guys on your side, Revenant, you're in a bit of a hole now, going down 2-1. So your next game is going to be an elimination game.
Mm-hmm.
So who is playing that game? Do you know?
We're about to get together and talk about it.
Okay.
Plan it out.
So not decided yet.
Not yet.
All right. Well, I don't know. Did you have any further questions to ask Lamaga?
Not especially. I think we kind of covered a lot of things with mooglecharm, and we saw how this played out. You know, gotta say, Revenant and mooglecharm, both of you guys played very well, and I'm looking forward to Game 4. Very evenly matched teams, both going second place in the Hyrule Castle division. So, not over by any means. Is going to be a little bit of a different Game 4 and 5 because do get to choose a bit of random modes, and looking forward to see the randomness that comes out of here.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so before we wrap up, Moogle or Revenant, did either of you guys have any final thoughts you wanted to share?
No, I'm good.
I just want to say thanks for getting us on the restream. Thanks for doing the commentary and the tracking, and for everybody out there watching. This was fun.
Yeah, and speaking of trackers, our tracker today was Yoinker's wife. Did an excellent job for us, so a big shout out to them. You know, give them a follow. And also, you know, my co-commentator, of course, Lumaga83, and I'm my Twitter is or not Twitter, Twitch is at AM2. So, you know, big shout outs to everyone involved. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us tonight. I think that this is the last game on the schedule tonight. Let me just bring up the league schedule here. We'll see what is happening tomorrow. We have looks like 5 games scheduled for tomorrow. So several of them going to be getting restreamed. Of course, this being the playoff, every game is going to be important. So lots of action to check out. Starting at 2:10 p.m. tomorrow, that's the first one. And then there's a bunch more later on in the evening. But yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night.